Why you shouldn't tolerate these behaviors. After 50, even from family. You know what's worse than losing time? Spending it on people who don't respect you. Yes, even family. The behaviors I'm about to share aren't just draining. They're stealing your happiness, your peace, and ultimately, your sense of self. And here's the catch. If you're over 50, you might be tolerating these toxic behaviors without even realizing it. We all have moments when we prioritize others, but when it becomes a pattern, that's when the damage starts. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to say, enough is enough. Stay with me, because the final behavior could be the key to transforming your relationships for good. Life after 50 should be about freedom, peace, and joy. You've worked hard, raised families, established careers, and learned valuable lessons along the way. Now it's time to enjoy your life, to spend your time the way you want to. But too often, certain behaviors from the people closest to us, even family, can rob us of that freedom. Sometimes it's subtle. Other times, it's more blatant. It can feel like you're constantly being pulled in a million directions, giving your time, energy, and even your money to others while neglecting your own needs. It's not just about setting boundaries. It's about valuing your time and energy enough to protect them. In this video, I'll break down 5 toxic behaviors you must stop tolerating, why they're so harmful, and how to handle them effectively. Get comfortable because this is about taking back control of your life, your happiness, and your future. 1. Disrespect. Disrespect is one of the most insidious forms of mistreatment. It often starts small and builds up over time. What does disrespect look like in your life? Maybe it's those subtle digs, someone belittling your achievements, undermining your opinions, or dismissing your ideas like they don't matter. Or maybe it's the eye roll, the dismissive tone when you're trying to share something important. You've lived decades and gained wisdom, and yet, some people treat your voice like it doesn't count. It can feel like you're invisible, and when the people you love treat you like this, it's even more painful. Let me ask you this. How long have you been tolerating this? How often do you bite your tongue to avoid conflict, only to feel worse after the interaction? Disrespect might come from adult children, siblings, or even close friends. It can feel like walking on eggshells just to avoid tension. But here's the reality. Allowing this behavior to continue only empowers them to keep doing it. They may never change unless you stand up for yourself. Start standing up for yourself in small but powerful ways. Say things like, I feel disrespected when you speak to me that way, and I won't accept it anymore. By voicing your discomfort, you are setting a clear boundary. You are making it clear that you deserve better. Here's something to consider. The longer you allow this disrespect, the harder it becomes to stop. But remember, it's never too late to start demanding respect. And the more you do it, the easier it gets to assert yourself. If disrespect is harmful, wait until you hear about the next behavior. It's more manipulative than you might think. 2. Emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation often hides in plain sight. It can be disguised as love, concern, or even a favor. But when you dig deeper, it's a strategy to control your actions, emotions, or decisions. Have you ever heard phrases like, I thought you'd do this for me after all I've done for you? Or, if you loved me, you'd say yes? Emotional manipulation preys on your guilt, your kindness, and your sense of responsibility. Manipulators know that you have a big heart, and they use that against you to get what they want. The problem is, you end up putting their needs ahead of your own, and it leaves you feeling drained, resentful, and unheard. Here's the reality. It's not your job to solve everyone's problems or constantly prioritize their needs over yours. You've done your part in life, and now it's time to prioritize your well-being. The more you give in to emotional manipulation, the more you teach others that it's okay to push your limits. A strong response to emotional manipulation is clarity. Stand firm with statements like, I understand how you feel, but I'm not able to do that right now. It's firm, respectful, and most importantly, it protects your boundaries. Don't be afraid to say no, even if it means disappointing someone. Your peace of mind is more important. And speaking of boundaries, the next behavior takes entitlement to a whole new level, and it could be happening more often than you realize. 3. Entitlement to your time or money. Have you ever noticed how some people act like your time and money belong to them? They might constantly ask for favors, expect financial help, or even borrow money with no intention of paying it back. But here's the thing. Your time, your money, and your energy are yours to manage. Whether you're in your retirement years or still working hard, you've earned the right to say no. Think about it. How often have you said yes to something you didn't want to do, simply because someone expected it? How many times have you felt guilted into lending money or giving up your precious time to help someone, only to end up feeling used and undervalued? The problem with this entitlement is that it strips you of your autonomy. Your retirement savings, your schedule, and your personal time should be used the way you choose. You've worked hard for decades. This time is meant for you, not for constantly helping others who take your generosity for granted. It's okay to say no. It's okay to put yourself first, without feeling guilty. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying no to something that could truly bring you joy. Maybe it's a day out with friends, a quiet afternoon at home, or simply the ability to relax without anyone needing something from you. By setting these limits, you teach others to respect your time. And that's something worth doing. But entitlement isn't just about asking for too much. The next behavior slowly tears you down emotionally, often without you realizing it. 4. Chronic negativity. We all know someone who's constantly negative. They complain about everything, whether it's the weather, the government, or even the food you're eating. They find a way to criticize your choices, and no matter what you say, it's never good enough. It feels like every conversation revolves around their problems, and you end up feeling emotionally drained just by being around them. Negativity isn't just irritating, it's contagious. When you spend too much time with chronic complainers, their negative outlook on life starts to seep into your own thoughts and feelings. Before you know it, you start focusing more on what's wrong in your life rather than appreciating what's going well. This constant negativity can also affect your health. Studies have shown that being around negative people can increase your stress levels, which in turn can harm your physical health. Chronic stress is linked to numerous health issues, including heart disease, high blood pressure, and weakened immune systems. Here's the truth. Protecting your emotional well-being starts with limiting your exposure to these people. Redirect the conversation when they start complaining, or politely excuse yourself if their negativity becomes too much. You don't have to be rude, but you do need to be firm. Remember, you can be empathetic without becoming their emotional dumping ground. You don't need to fix their problems, and you certainly don't have to absorb their negativity. And finally, the last behavior might be the hardest one to confront because it often comes from those you care about most. 5. Ignoring boundaries. Setting boundaries is one of the most important things you can do for your own well-being, but they're only effective if you enforce them. So, what happens when someone ignores your boundaries? They show up uninvited, call you at all hours, or try to push you into doing something you've clearly said no to. It's all about control, making you feel like your limits don't matter. Here's the secret. Boundaries are only as strong as your willingness to enforce them. If you allow someone to repeatedly cross the line, they'll continue to do so, and eventually, you'll start to feel like your personal space is being invaded. So, what can you do? When someone ignores your boundaries, remind them firmly. I've already said I'm not available for that. Please respect my decision. It's not about being harsh or cold. It's about being clear and consistent. If the person continues to ignore your boundaries, it might be time to reevaluate the role they play in your life. Relationships are based on mutual respect, and if someone can't respect your limits, it may be time to set some distance. Your time, energy, and peace are priceless. By refusing to tolerate these toxic behaviors, you're not just protecting yourself, you're teaching others how to treat you. You deserve respect, love, and kindness, and you should never settle for anything less. Remember, the relationships you keep should uplift you, not drain you. By setting boundaries, standing up for yourself, and walking away from toxic behaviors, you create space for healthier, happier relationships. Here's something to think about. Which of these behaviors have you been tolerating, and what will you do about it today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experience might inspire someone else to take action. And if you know someone who needs to hear this message, send them this video. Together we can create healthier, happier lives.